It is said that sometimes the most profound discoveries come not with distance, but through depth, deep into a memory, a meaningful story, or understanding a significance. Welcome to Midlife Trails and Adventures, where the journeys we explore transcend spectacle and become paths to discovery, transforming our humanness. Today, we shall immerse in a destination we just don't want to see, but perhaps we have to feel. A place that barely registers on most maps, yet pulses with a presence that feels older than memory. To walk through this trail is to step into a conversation with history. Come, and let's uncover the historic village of Gilbertsville. There are overlooked corners where the past still lingers, like morning mist on old stone, like a place uncommon and seemingly ordinary. But when you take a closer look, it radiates beauty and reveals a story behind its mystery. If you will be coming from New York City, this village in upstate New York is about 174 miles, or 280 kilometers, and may take around a 3.5-hour drive. It waits like a secret kept well, nested among forgotten hills, its silence dense with stories. The village does not demand attention for spectacle, but for the listening that modern life seldom allows. In leaving behind the unrelenting pulse of New York City, there is a quiet defiance in tracing a path toward Gilbertsville. The journey feels like a pilgrimage, an intentional pause toward something quieter, steadier, and profoundly rooted. The stretch upstate is a ribbon of asphalt unwinding past changing landscapes, the skyline giving way to rolling hills, dense groves, and towns that whisper stories. What sets Gilbertsville apart as a compelling destination is its unique distinction. With its cobbled charm and English Tudor facades, this 1 square mile hamlet is the first and only village in New York State listed entirely on the National Register of Historic Places in 1983. This recognition is well earned, as the village showcases a blend of Greek Revival, Federal, Romanesque, and Italianate architecture, reflecting the prosperity and cultural aspirations of its 19th century residents. The village was founded by Abijah Gilbert, an Englishman, who arrived in 1786 and purchased land from the Morris brothers, who were veterans of the Revolutionary War. Gilbert's vision helped shape the village character, evident in its architecture and layout. It's not just a place, it is a living museum, a cultural and architectural time capsule. The morning carried a hush, chilly and contemplative, with the air crisp enough to sting the cheeks, but soft enough to invite reflection. The road gently winds its way through rolling hills, dappled in a cold morning. Farms flanked the highways, their fields breathing the promise of spring, while aging red barns stood as quiet witnesses to decades of seasons. As I approach Gilbertsville through New York State Route 51 from the north side, the scenery seems to whisper of something older, slower. At the bend, the village marker came into view, weathered, proud, and quietly elegant. Welcome to Gilbertsville, it proclaimed, crowned by the gentle words, in the beautiful Butternut Valley. Its wood planks and lettering softened by the seasons. I realized this wasn't merely a confirmation of arrival. It was a moment of consecration. I had crossed into a village held together by memory, by community, by a certain grace. Ahead, I see a church, its silhouette serene against the muted winter sky. It felt as though the town itself had exhaled, offering its quiet streets and gathering places with a gentle pride. Walking towards it, a truck hauler rumbled on the highway before me. It was a fleeting clash of worlds, movement against reverence, the industrial echo beside sacred quiet. Yet somehow, it felt right. The truck, barreling through New York 51, didn't disturb the moment. It framed it. I paused at the edge of the sidewalk. The church stood unshaken, cradled in stillness, a place rooted so deeply that even the passing noise seemed like part of its story. It was as if Gilbertsville had reminded me, even interruptions are part of the journey. At 166 Marion Avenue is the Christ Church of long ago. It greets with an enveloping stillness, yet I can imagine the soft creak of floorboards and the faint echo of the past hymns, clinging to the rafters. Voices linger here, not in volume, but in memory. The voice of the elder who led prayers during wartime, the laughter of children, shuffling in Sunday shoes, the weeping of strangers who came seeking solace, and found it beneath the glow of glass windows warmed by morning light. Each pew holds a story. The sermons may fade, but their impact settles deep into the grain of the wood. The walls, etched with time, cradle generations that returned week after week not for grandeur, but for grounding. At 136 Marion Avenue, the Empire House is a historic building that serves as a hotel and restaurant. It was a hub for abolitionist activity before the Civil War and remains a local landmark. Built around 1835, it is the oldest commercial building in the village and one of the few survivors of the 1874 fire. It once served as a stagecoach stop, hosting gatherings and elegant receptions. Today, it continues to operate as a seasonal fine dining restaurant and hotel, blending historic charm with a vibrant culinary experience. As I walk along Marion Avenue, I find glimpses of old stone and clapboard facades, buildings that seem to bow slightly with age, their gables sharp yet softened by ivy and memory. A woodworker's shop sits nestled in the corner, and the scent of cedar and varnish fills the cold air. Chisels line the window's sill like instruments laid out for a symphony of craftsmanship, as if recalling the shape of a long-lost story. Stone houses, some with slate roofs mossing gently at the edges, appeared like memories carved into the landscape. The American Legion Post 1339, unassuming in structure, yet resonant in purpose. The modest exterior speaks not of grandiosity, but of steadfastness and a place where the spirit of service endures beyond the battlefield. Inside, the air feels storied. Flags drape the walls, black and white photos recall those who stood tall when called, and the creak of a chair carries the weight of decades. It's less a clubhouse than a living archive, echoing with the stories of hometown heroes who shaped Gilbertsville from the inside out. A not-so-close neighbor, where the rhythm of the village slows to a thoughtful pulse, is the Firehouse, located at 114 Marion Avenue, home to New York Post 39007. Gilbertsville Volunteer Fire Department and Emergency Squad. It is a modest infrastructure with an orange brick facade that comes with a mighty heart. A sentinel of safety, a place where sirens meet silence, and courage is stitched into every brick. Its red doors open not just for emergencies, but for community connection. Inside, volunteers train, prepare, and wait, not for recognition, but for the call. The hum of readiness is constant, like a quiet promise. When the alarm sounds, they move with practiced urgency. Beyond flames and sirens, the department is a cornerstone of Gilbertsville's spirit. On the other side of the street, the First Presbyterian Church stands as a quiet, enduring symbol of faith and community. Its location suggests deep historical ties to Gilbertsville's 19th century charm. Located at 113 Marion Avenue, this historic congregation is part of the Presbytery of Susquehanna Valley and has stood for generations as a cornerstone of spiritual life. With its classic stone brick facade and neat lawns, it offers an intimate setting for reflection and connection. The church describes itself as a Christian faith community where all are welcome in worship, friendly fellowship, and mission committed to sharing the good news through learning, outreach, and singing of worship songs and hymns. While crossing the small bridge that spans Thunderbird Creek, just before the intersection of Commercial Street at the village center, I paused. The water runs cold and clear, fed by the melting snow from the mountains beyond, a quiet pulse through the valley's heart. And I wonder, how many travelers have slowed here? Not out of necessity, but because something deep within their soul beckoned them to witness. Imagine this road link, once used by indigenous people and Dutch traders, and all that followed thereafter. It carries the weight of centuries. Originally constructed in 1855, then widened in 1904 and later rehabilitated in 2008 following flood damage, the stone segmental deck arch bridge, under 20 feet in length, is rich in history. A plaque on the bridge commemorates its original construction and subsequent modifications. Despite its small scale, it is considered one of the oldest surviving in the region. At the crest of Commercial Street is the Overlook Park, which offers more than just a sweeping view of the village center. It's a quiet stage where history gathers like mist in the morning. It also serves as a venue for the village special occasions. In it, you can find the Henry Gilbert Memorial Fountain, weathered and graceful, yet it stands as a quiet tribute to the town's founding spirit. Likely connected to the legacy of John Henry Gilbert, it serves as a symbolic reminder of the Gilbert's family's foundational role in the village development, honoring civic leadership, philanthropy, and local heritage. Also, the Gilbertsville's historic marker along Marion Avenue, near Cliff Street on the left side when heading north, stands as a proud testament to the village's rich history. It is a quiet but meaningful spot that anchors the village identity as one of the most historically intact communities in upstate New York. Across the street, at the corner of Marion Avenue and Commercial Street, is a stunning example of a Tudor Gothic architecture. With its slate-covered gable roof, conical towers, ornate balconies, and medieval flourishes like quatrefoils, the Major's Inn feels like something out of a storybook, perhaps the most iconic spectacle of the village. This cultural center was built in 1897 by the Gilbert family and opened as an inn in 1904. It once thrived as a hotel and tavern, a famous stopover for travelers passing through the middle of the state. Today, it serves as a cultural center and event venue, hosting weddings, concerts, seasonal festivals, and art shows that celebrate artistic spirit. Just across Commercial Street on the north corner is a dedicated mini park, the Butternuts Honoral Memorial, a heartfelt tribute to the men and women from the town of Butternuts who answered the call of duty and made the ultimate sacrifice. This modest yet meaningful monument features a stone and metal plaque listing the names of local veterans who served during World War II. The memorial reflects the deep sense of patriotism and community pride that defines Gilbertsville. It is not just a list of names. It is a roll call of courage, sacrifice, and service from a small town that stood tall during a global conflict. Next to the memorial, in the heart of the village, you can find the Gilbertsville Post Office at number 3 Commercial Street, which is more than just a place to send letters, but a pretty and quiet hub of connection. It serves as a functional space and a reminder of the village's deep-rooted heritage. With its modest design and small-town charm, it reflects the rhythm of a community where neighbors still greet each other by name. Inside, the atmosphere is warm and familiar. Locals stop by it not just to pick up mail, but to catch up on town happenings. It offers standard services like money orders, PO boxes, and package shipping, and operates with limited but consistent hours throughout the week. It is the kind of place where time slows down just enough for a friendly chat with a clerk, and where the daily mail run still feels like a ritual. Next to the post office is the Gilbert Block, a series of neo-Tudor-style tri-gabled row of commercial structure built between 1893 and 1895. The center gable features a non-striking tower clock that has been installed since 1894 and is still wound traditionally to operate. These buildings were designed by Henry Forbes Bigelow, the same architect behind the Major's Inn, and originally housed shops and artist studios. The structures vary slightly in height and feature decorative elements, such as quatrefoils, giving them a cohesive yet charmingly eclectic appearance. By the way, if you happen to visit Gilbertsville, especially on a Saturday morning, stop by the Five Kids Bakehouse, where a cup of hot coffee or chocolate and a unique pastry called Cronuts will surely make your visit unforgettably palatable. At the back of the Major's Inn is a historic 1820s building that once housed a print shop, where the Otsego Journal was published. The signature quilt bed and breakfast is a charming spot located at 6 Commercial Street. Its name comes from an 1852 signature quilt, a nod to the region's rich quilting heritage. It offers an accommodation where guests can enjoy whole house amenities for a comfortable stay. Moving to another iconic house of worship, tucked on the corner of Commercial Street and Elm Street, is the Gilbertsville Baptist Church, which stands like a sentinel of grace. Its steeply pitched roof, with a shade of solemn gray, slices upward through fog and sunlight alike, unmoved by season, resolute against time. The church architectural design likely draws from a blend of Gothic and Colonial Revival influences. Its orange exterior glows with a rustic warmth, complementing any season. It is a welcoming spiritual home where neighbors gather for worship, fellowship, and support, reflecting the town's quiet charm and enduring sense of community. In a village as intimate and historic as Gilbertsville, where 3 churches all reside, the proximity fosters collaboration and shared values across faiths. This allows residents to choose the spiritual home that resonates with them, while still feeling part of a unified village. One charming cornerstone of the village, nestled at 17 Commercial Street, is the Gilbertsville Free Library. Originally a stone schoolhouse built in 1818, it was transformed into Otsego County's first public library in 1888, a monument to the village's early commitment to education. It is more than just a place to borrow books. It's a keeper of local history and a hub for community connection, symbolizing the resilience and intellectual heartbeat of the village. Inside, you will find a modest collection of around 8,565 volumes of books, some paintings, and framed sculptures, serving a population of just under 400 residents. It's a place where stories are preserved, shared, and where knowledge is discovered, whether through a dusty local history tome or a child's first library card. Just across from the library, a gore space on the edge of Commercial Street, bifurcating to Bloom and Spring Streets, is a quiet yet powerful symbol of the town's heritage. Known as the Fiddlers Green, it features a monument of a soldier standing in a solemn dignity, an old cannon, and the village flagpole, serving as a memory keepers and guardians of the village soul. The site serves as an annual venue for Memorial Day and Veterans Day ceremonies. The American Legion, the fire department, and local residents gather to honor their heroes, share stories, and lay wreaths in remembrance. The Legion leads the village Memorial Day Parade, a tradition that winds through Grove and Bloom Streets, encircling Fiddlers Green before ascending to Brookside Cemetery, which we shall also attempt to visit later. Walking through the green, you are enveloped by a sense of timelessness, where the past gently nudges the present. Moving along Bloom Street, we visit the Butternut Valley Grange, a center for local gatherings, events, and civic participation. From hosting public dinners to organizing contests like bake-offs and quilt judging, the Grange is deeply rooted in the social fabric of the village. It's also famous for its homemade pies, which have become a local legend, and for supporting initiatives such as meal deliveries and community brochures for newcomers. Whether you're passing through the village or seeking to experience its spirit, it's the heartbeat of community tradition and rural resilience. Adjacent is the Gilbertsville Expressive Movement Sculpture Park, a 14-acre outdoor gallery showcasing artistic prowess like contemporary sculptures and designs from the Butternut Valley. The former Gilbertsville Central School campus was transformed into a center stage for arts that fosters artistic excellence and creativity inspired through a vibrant art space. In Gilbertsville, there's a hush in the air, as if the village holds its breath for those who seek more than a destination. Every corner seems to whisper stories born in porch light and passing laughter, each one shaped by time, tenderness, and a touch of mystery. At 55 Spring Street, you can find Centennial Park, which features a wide sports area for games such as baseball, football, and basketball. There is also a playground for kids and a pavilion often used as a venue for parties, club events, other social gatherings, or simply just a place to breathe and relax with its refreshing ambiance. Coming into the village from the east side brings a different introduction, but of the same mystery and excitement. You are opened more to a quaint farmland tucked quietly from long ago. It invites you with the rhythmic hush of Butternut Creek, weaving through the heart of the village like a lullaby. It's a living chronicle of early American ambition, resilience, and charm. Interestingly, this small village is known for horse shows, a local tradition in this area of central New York. Just down the road at 107 Bloom Street, this charming venue hosts seasonal equestrian show events that draw both seasoned competitors and curious spectators. The grounds are beautifully maintained and the atmosphere is friendly and inclusive, a welcoming venue for riders of all levels and spectators alike. It's not a formal equestrian park, but it certainly functions as one in spirit, bringing the community together around a shared passion and tradition. The shows typically run seasonally, with multiple weekends scheduled throughout the spring, summer, and early fall. Disciplines include dressage, jumpers, and derby-style competitions, often held on the historic Boswick Polo Field, with well-drained grass footing. There is also the Mill Street Stables, located at 28 Mill Street, which is a private equestrian facility that offers boarding and training services in a peaceful, well-kept setting. It's known for its excellent instruction and care, with a reputation for nurturing riders of all levels. The barn itself is tidy and welcoming, and the horses are well loved, making it a great spot for both serious equestrians and those seeking a quiet connection with the horses. Gilbertsville may be small, but it has a proud equestrian spirit woven into its landscape. Finally, we go to the final stage of our exploration. As I have mentioned earlier, every Memorial Day, the American Legion, side by side with the Gilbertsville Volunteer Fire Department and Emergency Squad, and together with the entire community, honors the lives of heroes with a parade that winds through the village, culminating in a solemn ceremony at the Brookside Cemetery. The ode includes readings of the Gettysburg Address and In Flanders Fields, the 21-gun salute, and the haunting echo of taps that stitch together the past and present. The wheels hummed as I drove over the winding reservoir road that led up to Brookside Cemetery. Tucked between rolling hills and framed by towering maple and oak trees, the drive itself felt like a slow unveiling of something sacred. The sunlight pierced through the canopy of softened shards, dappling the path in a dance of shadow and gold. Entering Brookside felt like crossing into a realm held gently apart from the rush of time. The tombstones, some leaning gracefully with age, others crisp and recent, stood in quiet formation across gentle slopes. Moss clung to some names like a whisper, and dates carved in worn marble evoked lives folded into history. The air was hushed, yet heavy with presence, a palpable serenity, not emptiness. Brookside Cemetery is the final resting place for generations of Gilbertsville residents, farmers, veterans, church leaders, and everyday souls who shaped the village spirit. It is a rural and peaceful, with a traditional layout and no elaborate landscaping, just nature and memory intertwined. The cemetery includes graves from the 19th century onward, reflecting generations of local families. A gentle breeze steered through the trees and across the grass, carrying a scent of earth and a fading winter. Birdsong echoed faintly, cautious but warm. Occasionally, the chime of a wind-blown flag or the flutter of leaves added a rhythm to the stillness, not breaking it but weaving into it. The whole place had an intimacy, as though every stone watched quietly, witnessing time stretch and fold. It wasn't eerie, just humbling. Even the sky seemed to lean in closer here. The cemetery didn't mourn. It honored. It didn't feel forgotten. It felt tended by both hands and memory. Nestled in the rolling hills of Otsego County, Gilbertsville, New York is more than just a dot on the map. It's a portal to a quieter, richer way of experiencing the world. As my journey through this historic village winds to a close, I am left with more than photographs and souvenirs. With me are the echoes of cobblestone streets, the warmth of conversations with local artisans, and the quiet awe of nature's embrace. Gilbertsville invites exploration not through grand spectacle. Every turn reveals a story, whether it's the architectural elegance of the Major's Inn, the whispering woods that border the Butternut Creek, or the timeless rhythm of community life that pulses gently beneath the surface. It's a place where discovery is personal, intimate, and enduring. In a world that often rushes forward, Gilbertsville stands as a reminder to slow down, look closer, and listen deeply. It's not just a destination. It's a rediscovery of wonder in the heart of upstate New York. Gilbertsville will simply wait patiently, ready to offer new stories, new paths, and new moments of quiet magic. If this video brought you wonder or inspiration, I invite you to like and subscribe to follow more quiet journeys. Your kind and thoughtful comments are always welcome and deeply appreciated.